I believe that how I feel is largely how I think. I believe how I look is what I eat and drink. I believe in Crystal Light, 'cause I believe in me.
New Crystal Light drink mix is sweetened a whole new way. There's no sugar, no saccharin, and no saccharin aftertaste. All these natural flavors taste so terrific.
It's hard to believe there's only 4 calories to a glass.
I believe in Crystal Light, 'cause I believe in me.
We put dots on new Freedom Thin Maxis, and women said,
How nice.
we call it funnel dot protection. Hundreds of tiny funnel dots. The dots help keep you dry. And that's nice. So nice. Now we bring you a complete line of funnel dot protection from New Freedom. The dots say nice and dry.
How nice.
Friday, Boss is behind bars. When some meddlesome moonshiners set him up to steal his still, and Bo and Luke have to bail him out on the Dukes. Then, a city is consumed by wildfire as Henry Fonda, Susan Clark, Barry Newman, and Shelley Winters star in City on Fire Friday.
Thursday, Magnum's hard-nosed, hard-headed nemesis returns with trouble hot on his heels.
I forgot my loincloth and spear.
Magnum, Thursday.
Tomorrow night, the Los Angeles Lakers will try to go 2-up on the Celtics in a pivotal game for Boston. Game 2 of the NBA World Championship tomorrow night live on CBS Sports.
I don't care what Paris does.
Excuse me, sir. I'm a UNICEF representative.
Oh, yeah.
I wondered what you would like to donate this year.
I give it the office, you understand?
This is the office.
That's what I said.
You'd be helping children that don't have clean water, food, medical care, even a warm place to sleep.
Oh, that's terrible. Who handles her account?
Well, no one, of course. These children have no future unless...
Future, yes. I could, of course, set up a small pension fund for them.
But they have nothing.
Well, why are they coming to me?
They need your help.
Listen, make an appointment, will you? And I'll sit these kids down and tell them the facts of life. Millions of children all over the world lack clean drinking water and proper medical care.
UNICEF could supply this by 1990 with your help. So please, give generously.
Excuses won't fill empty stomachs.
This is CBS.
In the late news tonight, the flooding story. People in 3 towns are forced from their homes as the Housatonic overflows its banks. The Farmington and Connecticut rivers also rising and rising. Barb?
Well, Don, it's those rising waters that prompted Governor O'Neill tonight to take some action for the state, that prompted Shelton and New Milford to declare states of emergency, and that's keeping the folks here at the River Forecast Center in Bloomfield very busy. The full story on the flooding for tonight and tomorrow coming up. Don?
Also tonight, pro-life and pro-choice groups debate some abortion regulations for the town of Bristol. Hilton?
Don, looking at radar, more heavy showers developing out over the hills where the heaviest rainfall has already occurred. Bill?
Well, believe it or not, it did not rain at Fenway Park tonight. The Boston Red Sox and Minnesota Twins went at it, and I'll have the highlights coming up.
Special team coverage of the flooding story in 1984 next on Channel 3's Eyewitness News Night Beat.
Are you waiting for the new Toyotas? Those quality Toyota cars, trucks, and vans that outsell every other import in America? Because you know Toyotas are second only to Mercedes for reliability? Well, you're not alone. Toyotas are so economical and fun to drive, it's been tough finding the one you want because lots of other people want the same one. Well, cheer up, friends. Your ship has come in. Loads of Toyotas are in at last. Come and get them.
Do you go to all those going out of business sales, fire sales, and water damage sales? You'll do better at Pier-A-Ways, where we guarantee our regular prices to be as low or lower than their sale prices. We mean it when we say if you can buy it anywhere else for less, we'll refund the difference. And Pier-A-Ways will still be around to give you the famous brand quality, depth of selection, and service that you can't get from any going out of business sale, fire sale, or water damage sale.
Pier-A-Ways, 2 locations, Ludlow, Massachusetts, and Windsor, Connecticut.
From the Berkshires to the Sound, from wherever you live, this is Eyewitness News Night Beat with Don Lark, Barbara Allen, Hilton Cataly Weather, and Canberra Marshall Sports.
Good evening, I'm Don Lark. Tonight, the governor's called out the National Guard. People are out of their homes in Connecticut, and possibly one man is dead as a result of the heavy rain and flooding with the threat of more overnight, perhaps the worst since the flood of '55. The most dramatic situation in Oxford, southwest of Naugatuck, where Northeast Utilities was forced by high water along the Housatonic to open up the floodgates of the Stevenson Dam. At least 15 families evacuated there, staying with friends overnight. Evacuations as well in Shelton and New Milford, where the first selectman has declared a state of emergency. It's the Connecticut River in Hartford that's being watched very closely tonight as it climbs well over flood stage. We'll have more on that and the flooding situation as Barbara Allen leads off Channel 3 team coverage tonight from the River Forecast Center in Bloomfield. Barb?
Well, Don, the folks here at the River Forecast Center are watching very closely. As you can see, data pouring in even as we speak from reporters all over the region trying to tell us exactly what is going on where the rivers are concerned in this state. We'll have the very latest on the flood stage information, where it is now, where it will be tomorrow morning, a little bit later in the program. But let's start off now looking at what may be the hardest hit area in the state. It's Oxford, where residents tonight are wondering where it will all end. Oxford, where eyewitnesses saw a cabin literally pushed off of its foundation and washed away in the waters of the Housatonic. Channel 3's Lucille Caliendo has this Night Beat report.
Well, I've been with the department for 22 years, and I'm told by residents around here that it's the worst since 1955.
But this time, say residents, the waters are rising faster.
Come up, geez, a good 1.5 feet up the driveway in depth and good 10 feet in length.
How long a period of time?
Oh, in an hour.
It's rising fast, yes. I think that we're in trouble.
Faster than it did then?
Yes, I think it's raising faster.
Some residents complained today the reason they're facing such a flooding problem is because Northeast Utilities waited until this morning to open the floodgates of the Stevenson Dam. The flooding got so bad that around 6:30 this afternoon, state police closed off Route 34. A state police spokesman said this is the first time it's been done since the 1955 floods inundated this area. There were no serious injuries to report as dozens of homes along the banks of the Housatonic River were evacuated today. The water's coming up so quickly, one family was unable to reach 3 pet dogs stranded on a porch. All attempts to reach them by boat failed. One luckier neighbor dog was moved to higher ground as the waters rose. As bad as the flooding is, some people in the area refuse to leave.
They're telling us to leave.
Are you all leaving?
Well, I don't know if I can get my mother to go. She's 83 and she was here in 55, and it's a problem.
I don't want to leave because I stayed here at 55 when my husband died, and I was the last one to go through this river.
Your husband actually died during that flood?
4 days after.
Why do you want to stay? I mean, when people are telling you it's better for you to get out right now, what keeps you here?
I don't know. Maybe the memories. I don't know.
And you think things will be okay?
I think so. I hope so.
Hoping and waiting. That's all that anyone can do right now.
We're just taking a wait-and-see attitude on how the dam holds out.
Do you have any of the newest forecasts on those retaining walls giving way?
No, we don't. The only information we have on that is that the crest will come sometime tomorrow morning.
So this is going to be an all-night watch?
Yes, it is.
Lucille Caliendo, Channel 3, Eyewitness News, Oxford.
The scenes in Oxford tonight are indicative of scenes all over the region in low-lying areas. And the scenes from Middletown and the Harbor Park restaurant also being duplicated, but perhaps these tell the story as well as any. They're dining in style there tonight that they may not be tomorrow. This restaurant always bothered by heavy rains and high waters, perhaps no time more than tonight. They expect to have to close up shop tomorrow, but they say they'll be back. I can guarantee you there were no fancy dinners eaten here at the River Forecast Center tonight as the data is pouring in. The measurements continue to be made. Targeting all of the trouble spots and updating the situations around the state, let's take a look at what the situations are now on the major rivers. First of all, the Housatonic. It's measured at the Gaylordsville, New Milford, and Kent area. Flood stage is 8 feet. Tonight, the waters are at 15.5 feet. They're expected to be at 16 feet in the morning, and that is not the crest. I repeat, that is not the crest. They could raise even higher. Moving along to the Farmington River, measured at Simsbury. Now, flood stage for the Farmington is 12 feet. Tonight, the waters are 13.5 feet. The crest on the farm, it is not the crest, again. In the morning, it's expected to be 16 feet, and we're told tonight that some parts of Route 315 in Simsbury are closed off, water covering the roadways. On the Connecticut River, well, perhaps this is the story that we'll be watching most closely. Flood stage is 16 feet at Hartford. Tonight, the waters are at 21.5 feet. Now, in the morning, the river is expected to be at 28 feet. There are some evacuations going on now in the floodplain south of Hartford along the Connecticut River. Some farmers were evacuating their livestock in South Windsor and Windsor today. They are saying that this could be the worst flooding along the Connecticut River since 1955. Then the waters were at 30.5 feet, and we're told they could rise even more than that with this latest batch of flooding that we're experiencing tonight. The story of the flooding does not stop there. Governor O'Neill tonight explaining his plan to deal with the flooding crisis with New Milford and Shelton, the target areas. Channel 3's Don Noel has that story.
The only state of emergency at this hour is in New Milford. These scenes late this afternoon. First Selectman Clifford Chapin told Governor O'Neill this evening that he may want help in the morning with traffic control. Meantime, 1,000 National Guard men and women are on standby in state armories. Some may stay through the night, and at dawn tomorrow, a force of 1,500 will be at the ready. Their possible role, filling sandbags.
We have 24,000 sandbags on trucks right now, 10,000 at Hartford and 14,000 Waterbury.
Governor O'Neill came to the Civil Preparedness Center at the Hartford Armory about an hour and a half ago to update the situation, stressing preparedness. The Stevenson Dam, he said, on the Oxford-Monroe border on the Housatonic River has been overtopped, but a designed overtopping that poses no danger. And a dam in Coventry was being examined, but not considered a serious hazard. Asked for a comparison with the disastrous 1955 flood, the governor stressed the steps taken since then.
Well, we've heard some of that report, but at the same time in 1955, we didn't have the preparations that we have in 1984. Flood control projects, etc., the Naugatuck River, the Housatonic River, many of the dam containments, the federal flood control projects up in the western part of the state didn't exist in 1955.
And in 1955, his aides recalled, 15 inches of rain fell in a 24-hour period, twice what the northwest part of the state has had this time over a longer period. Meantime, the watch continues through the night, but state officials feel so far they have things under control. I'm Don Noel, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
The late word into us here at the River Forecast Center is that Shelton also has declared a state of emergency tonight. We continue our team coverage now as we return to Don in the studio. I'll be back a little bit later with more. Don?
Okay, Barb, and we have word tonight the first fatality of the flooding may have happened this evening in Glastonbury. The body of a man found floating in the Connecticut River was pulled ashore by a crew from the Coast Guard early this evening. The man is described as middle-aged, between 35 and 55 years of age. There was a blue plastic tag on his wrist of the type used in hospitals. Though all the writing was washed away, he carried no other ID. Authorities are checking missing person reports up into Massachusetts. They say there are no signs of foul play. The timing of these heavy rains and high waters couldn't be worse for people living below the dam on Lake Pawtuxet. People in the towns of Lanesboro and Pittsfield, Mass. Leaks in the dam were noticed 3 weeks ago, and the lake was lowered 18 inches then to relieve the pressure, but those water levels are back now. The situation is being monitored closely. Most residents in Otis, Massachusetts are back in their homes tonight. 24 hours ago, 40 people living along the Farmington River on Route 8 had to be evacuated when the dam on Owl Lake gave way. Route 8 is open tonight, although sections of the road are underwater. Civil Defense says the Otis Dam is now under control, but it's being closely watched. Well, Hilton is standing by with a look at the radar to see where we stand right now. Hilton?
Don, radar shows rain continuing over the area, and that's the forecast for tonight. Rain continuing over Massachusetts and Connecticut. National Weather Service radar at Bradley International Airport set on the 60-mile range, and right now it's showing light precipitation echoes. Just a few minutes ago, there was a real heavy precipitation echo right in there, and we're going to go to the 120-mile range real quickly because there are some heavier echoes moving into northern parts of the Berkshire Mountain Range. Here's an echo that a few minutes ago was just to the west of Pittsfield. It has moved into the Green Mountains of Vermont, but heavy rain has been reported with this echo. The bottom line is rain continues to fall, and we haven't finished counting the accumulations yet. Don?
Okay, Hilton, it's Barbara, and as you can see, the radar screen is up here at the River Forecast Center as well, too. Forecasters here are looking for an end to this rain and looking to predict for us what we can expect tomorrow. We'll have more on that coming up. Don?
Tonight, the Democrats running the last leg of their race to the convention, and a very emotional political issue up for public debate in Bristol tonight, the issue of abortion. We'll have those stories and more as Eyewitness News continues on the Night View.
You know, in Midas, we've installed over 48 million mufflers, more than any other muffler chain. In fact, compare us to any of them, and you know what you'll find?
We've had more repeat customers than they've had customers.
We've done more foreign cars than they've done cars.
And with our Midas guarantee, we've installed more free mufflers than they've sold. When it comes to experience, no one can touch Midas.
See your participating Midas dealer for details. Offer ends June 16th.
Now, discover the quick response and smooth performance of new Exxon Extra, our highest octane unleaded gasoline ever. Its extra boost of octane quiets the knocks, silences the pings for extra smooth performance. New Exxon Extra, quality you can count on.
I'm in.
Call. I raise. You in?
Don't rush me.
Hey, Jack, what's this, a steak-'em sandwich? Yeah. You in?
Hot steak-'em sandwich steaks at a card game?
My wife only makes them for meals. What's the difference if it's a meal or a card game or whatever? There's nothing better than steak-'em. When you put those tender, juicy slices of 100% beef on a roll with all the trimmings, you've got a sandwich fit for a pair of kings.
I'm out.
Me too. Fold.
Steak-'em all-beef sandwich steaks.
When I stopped seeing the world as one big playground, I started growing up. Slowly, my taste changed, especially in wine. A new friend brought me Valbonne. So long, California jugs. Bye-bye, Italian bubbles. Valbonne is right for me, every day. With friends, with food. Drier, subtle. Growing up has certain rewards. My wine is French, Valbonne, from Bouchard Perry-Fils. You live and learn.
You're about to witness one of the greatest triumphs of German engineering. The new Rabbit Sparmeister, only $63.90.
Tonight in Bristol, the hotly debated issue was abortion, regulated abortions, an issue brought before the City Council by the Bristol Celebrate Life organization. But Channel 3's Night Beat reporter Howard Thompson says before any regulations can go into effect, there are numerous legal and moral questions that must be dealt with.
The Celebrate Life organization maintains it does not want to interfere with a woman's constitutional right to abortion.
Parents, right now you are powerless to be informed if your daughter has an abortion. You're powerless to be involved. You're powerless to love and care. You are powerless to sue the agency or doctor for any resulting injury. Celebrate Life believes parents should be involved.
Basically, the proposed ordinances call for parental or judicial consent be obtained for a minor's abortion. Steps be taken to alleviate pain. Abortion reports be submitted to city health officials. A second position be in attendance in the event an aborted fetus shows signs of life, and the aborted fetus be buried or cremated. But a number of pro-choice organizations, doctors, and civil lawyers say such proposed ordinances do interfere with women's constitutional rights, and that Celebrate Life is attempting to force abortion out of Bristol with strict regulations.
Are abortions safe or are they unsafe? Let's find out once and for all. Even those people who call themselves pro-choice should be in favor of this.
A local ordinance seeking to regulate any medical or surgical procedure which is legally performed statewide or even nationally is bound to lead to confusion.
The idea of regulated abortions raises a number of legal and moral questions. Some people say the bottom line to the entire issue is whether or not a municipality can adopt an ordinance that legally overrides state law.
According to the Connecticut Constitution and Connecticut state law, a municipality cannot preempt or create its own ordinances which in effect override the state constitution
The one point that Mr. Olds didn't address was the fact that there are no state laws regarding 5 of our 6 proposals. They are new law.
The issue of abortion regulation will be turned over to the Corporation Council for legal consideration. However, Eyewitness News has learned because of certain political situations at City Hall, this issue could be dragged out until September or even further. In Bristol, I'm Howard Thompson, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Back in Washington tonight, President Reagan hosting a dinner for visiting NATO foreign ministers. Earlier at the Air Force Academy, he sounded the challenge of the future to graduating cadets. They are the nation's leaders, he said, not just its warriors. Their future, a challenging and peaceful future, he added, is on the frontier of space. Barbara?
Well, Don, tonight we're just 6 days away from that crucial contest in the race for the presidential nomination for the Democrats. It's the California primary, and Walter Mondale is hoping it will put him over the top for the delegate count for that nomination. Gary Hart, on the other hand, is hoping that the results from California will keep it an open convention in July in San Francisco. Jesse Jackson's hoping the same thing. All the candidates campaigning in California, in New Mexico, and in New Jersey this week. Meantime, the GOP is building its own arsenal. These commercials for the Republican Party, the target, Democrats up for re-election in the House and Senate this year. The theme of the spots, and I quote now, bring back the pride, vote Republican. The ads are particularly tough on Democratic House Speaker Tip O'Neill of Massachusetts. They accuse him of being unfair and arrogant. What does O'Neill have to say about all this? Well, he says after 42 odd years in the House, who cares about image? Don.
Barb, it was more like 8 at night than 1 in the afternoon across Connecticut today as we saw through the clouds the better part of the last total eclipse of the century in North America. It was an annular eclipse, meaning not quite all of the sun was blotted out. The eclipse was greatest in a 3-mile-wide strip from Louisiana to Virginia, where less than 0.5% of the sun was visible. While a total eclipse happens somewhere in the world about once a year, there won't be another one anywhere in North America until the year 2017. Well, coming up right away on the Night Beat, the weather should begin clearing sometime toward dawn, we're told, and continue improving as the weekend nears. Hilton's forecast when the Night Beat continues.